All right, now, so let's go back to the chart. So let's go back to May of 07. So in May of 07, right back here, February, March, April, May, I could see what was going on. This whole pattern all the way going up now is reversing. And then see this volatility here? This volatility tells you again, you went from this nice, very nice and tight, it broke. Nice and tight, now it's broke. Now you're getting real volatility. See the volatility? That's a real message. The market's ready to break because you went from a nice tight pattern that was right above this support, but now it's starting to break down right here. On this one here, we had one more rally right here in October, right here. This one, Jim Cramer said we were going to go to 15,000 on the Dow. And I told everybody he was wrong. And I said, short the market. Because see this guy right here? It crossed right over. See it? And when it crossed the 200-day, we had it right there. So this indicating that this market was ready to crash. And then it could never, then when finally this 50-day, the yellow line crossed over, we had two crossovers. And this is what you learn as a technician. I can't show you everything here in 5 minutes, but you get the point. So I could tell in this group here, a crash was coming. Now, I knew back in May of 07. That's where I told everybody, by just knowing my technicals and seeing the solid, the breakdown, the solid, and I start seeing the crossover. Boy, this one's important. This 25-day is so important. And then I saw the breakdown again, more volatility. Breakdown, this was it right here. When it couldn't recover, and this 50 crossed this 200, that was it. And that was the end of it. Notice how now the market all the way up was, here's the 200-day, all the way down here. The market was above this 200-day moving average. See it? All the way up, all the way up. Then she started to break for the first time here. Okay, now remember, I called the market crash here. I said in May, I said the stock market is going to go from 14,000 down to 11,600 by the end of the last quarter of 08. I mean, the last quarter of 07 or the first quarter of 08. And I hit it right on the button. In fact, once it got here in October, and I said to everybody, sell, get out, go short. This was back in October. This one, Bernanke lowered interest rates right here. Right there is very low. And right here, so I made my announcement because I could see the market couldn't get back above this 200-day moving average. See it? See here, it was up above it all the way. See it? It was above it all the way. See it right here? Above it all the way. This is the first time it broke. Then it was above, and then it broke again. I knew that was it. Now, in technical terms, we have what we call lower highs. See, meaning right here, this is called a series of lower highs. Every time it rallied up, it pulled back, rallied again, lower than this time. Pulled back again, rallied, couldn't get back to here. This is called lower highs and a crossover. I had 3 lower highs and this crossover. I knew to short it. And I said, sell, get out. And Cramer said, buy. I said, get out. I said, we're going to go down. I said, it's going to be, the market's going to crash. I said, either the start in the last quarter of 07, which it started, or the first quarter of 08. And there it was. Here's the first quarter of 08. Really started to crash. And I said, now it's going to go all the way down to 6,500. And it did. Went right down here to 6,500. So that's how you know. And that's how I knew the market was going to crash, from easy technicals. Now, I also, on the way down in November right here, I told everybody right here to start buying stocks again. We did. And then it pulled back again. And then in March, I said, okay, load up, because I could tell that money started to pour in. We could see money going into the banks. And on March 9th is when this whole rally started. We bought 3 days before because I could see my technicals right here. See it? When this red line crosses, that's a buy signal. So we always, every time the market pulls back, we always buy on these crossovers right here. It's a buy signal. And we caught this whole rally all the way up. And now, of course, We're shorting again, see it? But this hasn't crossed over yet, and it's still tight here. See how nice and tight this was? And it broke down. And see these here? It's getting sloppy, see it? Now it's nice and tight again, and it broke down. So we're getting some real serious technicals here. So how high this market's going to go? Not very high before it breaks again. I feel it's going to come all the way back to where it started again. Okay, or worst case, it'll come back to this area right here and here. So we can at least get a correction back to at least right here. See it? We can get a correction back to here. So on Thanksgiving, what happened was I came back from Thanksgiving vacation, and I told everybody in November right here, I said, let's get out of the market. Let's go to cash. How did I know to do that? Let me show you. Goldman Sachs is the leader. And I saw what we call a divergence. The market kept going up, but look what look what I saw what was happening in October. See, in October, we had the divergence. This bank stock started to go down. Goldman Sachs went down, but look at the market. The market kept going up, even though the bank stock was going down. That's called a divergence. Bank stocks always lead the market up and lead the market down. The stock market is always behind 2 to 3 months, always trails behind. So we started to break down in October. And you could see in October, the market still was going up. See it? So I came back from Thanksgiving, and in November I said, let's short it. Let's short the market. It's going to start collapsing. So we started to short the market. In Thanksgiving, I said, let's start shorting it. Let's start with IWM. Let's also short the semis, SMH. And I said, let's start shorting this market. And because I see this market is going to start have a severe correction. And that's where we are today. So look at where we are, starting to break down. So that's why I had everybody go to cash. Remember, we loaded up. We loaded up right here before anybody else did, right in here. We loaded up right in here before they changed the accounting rules and everything else to make this whole market. We caught it right here. So we caught this whole market. And then back here in November, so we told everybody to buy right here, right before March 9th. And I told everybody to get out right here when I got back from Thanksgiving. And now it's starting to collapse. So see, it's a wonderful thing, technicals. So please join the gang. Learn how to use them. If I can do it, and I don't even have a high school education, you can do it. It's not that hard. See you on the charts.